Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our first Learn from Leaders in the evening. So this is our inaugural season of our Learn from Leaders program. My name is Connie Golden, and on behalf of myself and my program partner, Professor Scope DeSanto there in the back, wave, Gretchen, we welcome you this evening. So we've had some introduction up on the screen, so I'm not going to take a lot of our speakers' time tonight, but we are very appreciative that Kelly Keefe, who is the president of ERC, has agreed to spend some time with us. She's got some interesting information to share, and at the end, if there is time, make sure somebody asks her about the F culture at ERC, because F is not something we like to hear at the college, but it's part of their culture and it's interesting, so somebody ask her about that, please. So please join me in welcoming Kelly Keefe.
Thank you. Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Gretchen, for the opportunity to be here today. I'm standing right where I was told not to stand. Okay. So let's do a show of hands. Who here is getting extra credit for being here? All right. Not everyone. So those of you that are not getting extra credit, kudos to you for just wanting to learn a few extra things and coming out on this beautiful night. So thank you for being here. I'm honored to be presenting in front of you, and what a beautiful campus this is here. So I'm going to talk to you about five tips for success. We can also call this from backpack to briefcase, because we know as students you carry backpacks, but nowadays, I don't know if those of you that are working realize that almost everyone's carrying a backpack, no matter if you're a student or not a student. So I thought I would talk about the transition from student to professional. If you have questions throughout the way, though, feel free to interject, raise your hand. Let's make this kind of two-way street. Would love to hear anyone that already you have a question?
I'm wondering what ERC is. I haven't seen it written.
I'm going to get in there. You're jumping ahead. All right. So this is about me. So that's my family. I have a sophomore, I have an 8th grader, and I have a 5th grader, and I have a husband that is very helpful. He does laundry even, and he cooks. So yeah, he's great. This is my staff at ERC, and that is our logo, ERC, and that's my cute little dog over there that I always said I would never ever get a dog. But my little one there, she was such a convincer when she was 8 years old that there was no way for us not to get a dog. So that's our Allie, our little golden doodle over there. So ERC, we are actually 99 years old, and we started in 1920 with the labor movement. Some leaders from manufacturing companies got together, realized that the labor laws were changing, and they were just running their own businesses, whatever it may be, and they realized that they didn't know how to keep up with the laws that were changing. So they got together as a group and started using each other to figure out how to stay compliant and how to stay legal to work in the United States. So anyways, fast forward 99 years later, we are a provider of HR services to lots of organizations across Northeast Ohio. So we have an HR help desk. You can call in, ask questions about FMLA or ADA, or if someone is getting a raise, what do you pay them? Those types of things. So we have all that. So organizations belong, not individuals belong. We do leadership training, we do coaching, executive coaching, we'll do assessments. Many of you, if you're getting a new job, you're probably going to take an assessment. Don't be afraid, you're not going to fail. What they're trying to do is just figure out the traits that you have inside of you. So that's what ERC is. We also are the creators of a program called North Coast 99. I'm going to encourage you, if you're taking notes, to go to this webpage. It's northcoast99.org. This is a program that we put on. We recognize 99 of the best places to work for top talent in Northeast Ohio. So if you're looking for a job that you don't care how they treat their employees, that's not what these organizations are. These are organizations that truly are cutting edge. They are doing things differently. I was just at one last week, way down on 71, and they just approved for next year 6 weeks of paternity leave. So that's pretty amazing. So there's organizations like that across Northeast Ohio that truly care about their employees. So I would encourage you to check out those web pages, check out those companies, and then look for jobs at those organizations. So how many people here are actually in the work world right now? Great. I know there's one manager in the room. Any other managers in the room? Okay. So if you have anything to share as a manager as well, feel free to chime in, because that's sometimes the hardest job, being the manager. All right, so that's about me. Let's talk about you, because you are all here, hopefully, for a new job just ahead, right? My advice is stay in college as long as possible, but I know those bills are coming. So this is just a quote that I thought was really important to share. Be patient with yourself. Self-growth is tender. It's holy ground. There's no greater investment. So be patient with yourself in class, and then throughout the job interview process, and then also as you become a new employee at an organization. It's going to take time, and we're going to go into that a little bit more. So number one, the interview process. This is really fun. Because I have some amazing stories to talk about the interview process. Interview process is really what you make of it, though. It's not what the organization does. It's what you make of it, because it's more than just one interview. It's going to take probably a lot of time. And right now, it's an awesome time to be looking for a job, because the job market is so hot for anyone looking for a job right now. You have really the world at your fingertips, because every organization is looking for good people. Don't let anyone tell you differently, and I'd be happy to help you network after. If you want to, we can talk, but really there's a lot of really great jobs out there here in Northeast Ohio. So I just want to share with you some tips about the interview process. First of all, do your research. Know about the organization. Take time. Don't walk into an interview blind. Don't walk into an interview not having researched the organization. Go onto the website. Just as Connie just talked about the F culture at ERC, I clearly know that she went onto our website and she did some research. Not every organization is going to have a great website. Not even every organization is going to have a website. But you can find out things about the organization by doing research. And I say that because the next point is to be prepared. You don't know what they're going to ask you in that interview, right? I usually start off all my interviews with saying, let's start with you. Do you have any questions for me? I instantly know if that person took the time to even remember what they were interviewing for, but B, did some research on the organization. If they say, no, I don't have any questions, they're not engaged. So again, going back to the interview process is what you put into it. Take some time to research that and to be prepared. Obviously be on time, but know where you're going, try to know who you're interviewing with, those types of things. Read through the job description again before you go into an interview, and just come up with 2 or 3 questions, so in case you're asked that, you know how to respond to that. No cracks, no butts, no breasts, no toes, no jokes, all right? Don't crack jokes. Those are things that we say, really, we want to be focused on you. We don't want to be focused on anything else. Say and write thank you. It's just the simple things like that, right? So send an email after. If you want to write an email, you can, but get that off as soon as possible. And when you're walking out the door, thank them for their time. As much as this was important to you, it was important that they took time out of their schedule as well. And then follow up. But I'm going to say follow up patiently. So if you want to follow up a couple days later, there's no golden, rule for how do you follow up, but what you would want to be followed up with. Follow up in a couple of days, maybe in a week or 2 after that, and maybe one or other time. After that, they might have moved on to another applicant, they might have moved on to their budget season, they might have moved on to a million other different reasons. But stay in contact, don't be harassing, don't follow too much, but stay in contact just to let them know that you're still interested in the job. Things happen. Maybe all of a sudden they got a budget cut and they're not hiring for your position anymore, but they really liked you. They just didn't have the decency, and I'm going to say decency because I blame a lot of organizations for not always being a great interviewee. I know that's the case, interviewer, but just be patient. Okay, number 2, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but get over yourself, okay? What do I mean by that? Your plan A isn't always gonna work out. So sometimes you have to go with plan B. Maybe not everyone who's working in here has their dream job right now, and that's why you're in school. But maybe your first job out of school isn't gonna be your dream job either, and maybe your second or your third. But as long as you keep knowing where you want to go, it'll work out. Unless you own your own business, you're not gonna be the boss right away. We hear that all the time from people, that they just wanna advance, advance, advance. You gotta take the time to get to know the roles that you're in so that when you do move up the ladder, if you want to move up the ladder, and that's okay if you don't, that you understand the organization. So Avery Dennison, a great organization right down the street. So let's say that I was hired in as a throw out a role, a photographer, right? I was hired at Avery Dennison as a photographer. Would I be doing anyone any justice if all I did was work and study my role as a photographer at Avery Dennison? No. How could I be a better employee at Avery Dennison? We'll open it up. What could I be doing? I'm not asking the question right. I could be learning, yeah.
Learning logistics behind your photography.
Yeah, perfect. Anything else? Yeah.
Understanding how your job interacts with not just the people around your jobs, but all jobs within the company.
Yep. And how could that be beneficial to me and the organization?
It would give you an idea of cause and effect.
Yeah. Also would open my eyes to other departments in the organization, right? I might be focused on this right here, but wow, I didn't realize that we had packaging like that over there. Or a manager might get to know me that I would have never encountered before, just by walking by and saying, hey, can you tell me about that? All I'm saying is that take the time to get to know the entire organization, not just your department that you're working on. It's going to be beneficial for you and the organization. Get to know people that are different than you. And I really mean this. People that not only look different, but think different, talk different, people that annoy you, people that you like, just to get to know people that are different, because the more that you have a variety in your life of different viewpoints at the organization, you're going to have some internal struggles, you're going to learn some things, but by the end of it, you're probably going to come out ahead because you're going to think differently. I'm in Leadership Cleveland right now. I don't know if any of you have heard of that before. I'm honored to be a part of that. I am constantly being challenged about different things in our community. I'm constantly learning the different viewpoints, and that's stretching me as an individual, and I leave there feeling so much more invigorated about me as a person and as the community because I'm learning about different viewpoints. Know your audience. And what do I mean by that? Know when to talk, know when to hold back a little bit, know when to share, know when to get opinionated, and this is something that you're going to have to just learn. I was walking through our office at ERC last summer, and we had an intern there, this girl who was fabulous, but sometimes she didn't know when to stop. So I walked in, I had dishes in my hands. I think I just finished my lunch, obviously, and I walked in and I said, hey, we'll call her Sarah. Hey, Sarah, how are you today? I'm so stressed out. Sarah, what's going on? You okay? I was just named president of the organization. I've got 3 kids at home. I've got one probably with a broken bone because they're always broken. Budgets are due, financials are due. I have a board meeting the next day, blah, blah, blah. She couldn't even get it out. Sarah, are you okay? Is everything okay? I have a test this afternoon. I'm so stressed out. And I thought, I'm sorry that you have a test. And of course, I played in the conversation. I said, Sarah, you're going to do great. You're going to do fine. But what did that tell me about Sarah? Would I want to hire her as an employee when A, she's at work right now, I'm paying her pretty decent hourly wage, and she couldn't get past the fact that she was so into her own self and so stressed out about this test. And so anyways, what I'm saying is know your audience. If the president of an organization walks in and says, how are you? I'm good. How are you? Working on this project. whatever, until you build a rapport with somebody. But you don't want to just go in there, kind of throw up and share all of your dirty laundry with somebody. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, number 3, it's okay to be wrong. When I was a teller at National City Bank, that's where I kind of started my career, a woman walked in and she had just won the lottery. And she won $10,000 and she asked for it in 20s. And this was before they had the money counters. So I was giving out 20s, and $10,000 in 20s is a lot of 20s. And I had always had a perfect drawer at the end of my days. And that day I was $1,000 off. And the manager sat me down and said, "You're $1,000 off. Where's the money?" And I couldn't figure it out. And then it dawned on me, first of all, they were accusing me of stealing it, which made me upset. But I don't blame them because I was missing $1,000. And at a bank, you can't just lose $1,000. So after reflecting on my day, I realized that I paid this woman an extra $1,000. So she walked away with $11,000 because I was wrong. I didn't have somebody check my money. But I ended up not losing my job because I didn't deny it. I didn't lie about it, right? So I could have said, I have no idea, blah, 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 but I figured it out. And the people that I was working for were decent enough to give me a second chance. And I appreciate that, and I'll always be thankful for that. So I would say as a manager, always give your people a second chance. But also as an employee, realize that you're not always going to be perfect. I have another story, and this is really dates me, but my internship, somebody handed me a stack of papers and they said, "Make copies of this." And this is going to sound so ridiculous for anyone that's under the age of 30. But I went to the copy machine and I didn't know how to make copies of all of those. Nobody had ever taught me that. So I was trying to make 500 pages of copies one by one. Well, it was by the 20 pages in, I didn't know which one went to what pile. Anyways, I handed back the sheets of paper back to the person and I said, "I just messed everything up. I didn't know." Manager hadn't taught me how to do it. But I also, again, I took responsibility for it. So take ownership and move on. I didn't let it stop me. I moved on. And you learn from your failures, and you're going to grow from that. Obviously, I took 2 lessons from that, right? That I want to continue to get better, but I also realized that when I get to be a manager someday, I want to treat people the way that I was just treated, and I appreciated that. All right, number 4, you as others see you, because this is really important. You're going to walk into an organization, and just as I'm seeing you, just as you're seeing me, I know that you guys are evaluating me right now. I'm just going to do an example. Somebody guess what kind of a car I drive. Yep, nope. Yeah, a GMC Acadia. Some of you are drawing conclusions about me because you don't know me right now, right? And I'm drawing conclusions about you. It's just the way that we are. So if you want your new organization to draw conclusions about you because you're not willing to offer it up, you really can't blame them. I'm not telling anyone to judge anyone else, but I'm just saying you as an individual, you have the opportunity to showcase who you truly are by the way that you speak, by the way that you interact with others at your organization. So I encourage you to try to see yourself as someone else might be seeing you, because you don't know what conclusions they're drawing about you until you give them information to prove them right or wrong. So I just want to talk real quickly about personal and workspace appearance. So you can learn a lot about an organization by going onto the website. What do the people look like, right? Is there a uniform? If there's not a uniform, what do they look like? And listen, I love my pajamas. I wear them constantly around my house. And I love when I wear jeans to work. But I also know that sometimes I can't, right? And so there's going to be that guy or gal at your organization, and maybe they're doing just fine. But do you want to be that person in your organization as you're trying to move ahead? You're trying to say and prove yourself who you can be? or do you want to try to look the part? So, appropriate for your work and environment and culture. Stand out, not too far out. Professional and respectful body language and facial expressions. And I thought this was really important. Dress for who you want to be in 2 to 3 years. Because that's what the manager, that's what the president, that's what they're thinking. Can this person lead the organization? Can this person, can I be comfortable and confident putting them in front of the organization? They're going to be successful. It's not just what you wear, but it's also about your workplace and your workspace. You know, I actually, when I was in Chicago, I had a person that probably had more Pezzes than that. I mean, I would walk by and I couldn't even get past the fact how many Pezzes they had. I couldn't imagine how much money they spent on these Pezzes, first of all. But, you know, looking at this guy here, you wouldn't think that he's probably the most organized person, right? So if you had a challenging job that required some detail, probably wouldn't give it to that guy, right? So right or wrong, it's reality. So remember that. I don't really need to go into all that. So work today is 24/7, whether we want it to be or not. Some organizations are going to say you clock out, that's it. Some organizations are not going to say that. When you get into an organization, figure out, are you exempt, are you not exempt? That means, are you paid overtime, are you not paid overtime? If you're paid overtime, you're probably going to have to talk to your manager about working extra hours. If you're not, if you're in a management role, there's a good chance that you are exempt from overtime, and you're going to have to figure out, are you supposed to be checking in? Are you supposed to be available? I encourage you, take your time away. Make sure all your work is done before you do that. I'm curious, managers in the room, are you feeling the 24/7? Yeah. Are you feeling 24/7 as a manager role? Yeah. How do you deal with it?
Roll with the punches.
Yeah. Keep your family time, but also be available in case of emergencies, those types of things. So I don't know what the advice is for the organization that you're at. All I'm saying is that just be aware of this, that this is happening, and some managers are going to expect that. Ask that in the interview. What's the expectation going to be at 9 o'clock at night, or 6 in the morning, or when I'm on vacation? Mobile phones. I like this cartoon. If you can't see it, it says, I can never remember, does a cell phone go on the left or the right? Don't bring a cell phone into an interview, especially if you're going to check it. Don't bring a cell phone into your first couple of meetings. In fact, unless the organization you see everyone has their cell phones on the table, don't even bring your cell phone into a table. Whatever's happening in there, unless it's an emergency, right? You want to be present in the meeting that you're in right now. Don't bring it in. I would leave it in the car. Sometimes those things goes off, those Amber Alerts, whatever, you never know, right? There's nothing on your cell phone probably that might be more important than you getting this job. It's up to you to decide, but I would encourage you, leave it in the car when you're interviewing. If you do take a call, get up, move out of the office, or just say, I have to take this call. Or if you're expecting a call before you go into a meeting, I'm expecting a call, it's an emergency, I might have to step out. Totally fine. We all know what's going on. All right, number 5, networking. Again, congratulations on being here, and I think you guys should get to know each other a little bit while you're here. But so that's my daughter and my puppy waiting for the bus the other day. So networking, what is it? It's making a connection with another person. It's you being here tonight. It's sharing information and advice. It's everyone that we answered something. You're networking a little bit. You're developing a relationship, and it's always a two-way street. Networking is so important. Networking is where you're going to get from one job to another job. Networking is where you're going to find some amazing nonprofit that's going to change your life because you're giving back to someone else. Networking is where you're going to help a friend, a sister, a brother, a child find a job. And networking is super easy to do. Who could I pick on? I already picked on you guys. I'll come over. I see you've got a Xavier sweatshirt on. Do you go to Xavier?
No.
No? Do you know someone that goes to Xavier?
Yes.
Ah, who's that?
A younger family member.
Oh, awesome. Great. I love Xavier's basketball team. I know they're all, you know. Hey, I see, you know what? I'm looking for a new show to watch. Do you have any show that you're binge watching right now?
Shameless.
Oh, I just watched Succession. Like,
Okay,
yeah.
that's very good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
trio.
Yeah, I know, yeah. It's easy, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's super easy. I know it's intimidating. Oh, I forgot. I got to go back up here. When you walk into a room and you don't know anyone, and you're standing there and you're feeling lonely, you're feeling weird, you're feeling odd, you're feeling all of those things, I guarantee more than 50% of that room is feeling the same way. So just walk up to somebody and say, hey, I've never been here before, have you? Most likely they're going to say no, or they're going to say yes, and hopefully they're kind, and then they're going to say, let me tell you about it. Ask them a question, right? Don't ask a yes or no question. Just try to ask a question. If not else, just say like, hey, I don't know, why are you here? Just try to engage in the conversation. Next thing you know, now you know one person. And that person hopefully will connect you to another person. Again, networking is so important. So Mike, I'm going to pick on you because we met in the beginning of class and you said that you network every single day. Share why networking is so important to you.
Yeah, that's my top priority. I make an effort every week to at least go to 2 networking events of some type and meet people every week. I do that before any type of marketing. And I just sincerely do it, but I also enjoy meeting other people and actually getting into organizations and staying busy too.
Yeah.
So it also fulfills that need.
Some of us enjoy networking. I enjoy networking. Who here enjoys networking? Okay, it's up to us to bring along the other people that don't like networking. All of you that didn't raise your hand, it's okay, all right? But realize that there's us out here that enjoy it. So look for one of us at an event and just stand there and say, this is kind of hard for me. And I bet the rest of us networkers, what are we gonna do? Oh, it's fine, come on, I'll take you along. I'll show you the way. So there's kind of 2 different type of people. Those of you that don't enjoy networking though, you've gotta work on it because it'll help you. Yeah?
Is that also related to the introvert-extrovert personality traits?
It probably is, yeah. Right? Some of us just, if the room was quiet, I would just talk and talk and talk and talk, right? And some people can just sit there silent the whole night. And I know that that's a gift that you have and it's a gift that I have. And we need to, again, going back to seeing other people's viewpoints, I need to think about how hard that is for that person to be there, and they need to realize that this comes natural to me, but I don't really want to do it all by myself because then it gets to be a one-way street. So, yep. When you're in the professional world, introverted and extroverted doesn't always cut it. Managers don't care. Are you introverted, extroverted? They'll get to know you, but if you're too introverted, you're going to pigeon yourself into a path, right? And you've got great qualities, so the introverts need to figure out a way to share, get to know other people, those types of things. All right, so networking, smile, eye contact, shake hands. It's a simple thing. Great, identify courtesy, introduce others. I already talked about that. Don't hide, and then have your elevator speech ready. And this doesn't need to be anything elaborate. Hey, I'm Kelly. I'm a sophomore at Lakeland. I'm studying accounting. Can't wait to get my first job. That's all it needs to be. Something simple, something to give somebody else an opportunity to ask you a question or to connect with you. Because that's what relationships and networking all is just connecting, finding one little connection between 2 people. And then you can carry on that conversation. Hey, I met you at that event. And we carried on a conversation. Hey, how's it going? How's your networking going? How's your entrepreneurship going? How's your photography going? Those types of things. All right, wrapping up. In summary, success is not a straight line. It's not at all. This is what it really looks like. I started working. I moved to Chicago. Well, I almost got fired at National City. Moved to Chicago. My boss didn't come to Chicago, so I had to come back to Cleveland. Then I started working, then I had my first child, and then I quit. Then I retired, and then I found a part-time job, and that part-time job took me to a full-time job, and then all of a sudden I was asked to be president, and I was like, what? I was just over here. You know, my path to success was not where I am. I didn't think ever that I wanted to be a president of an organization. I feel so honored and I'm so happy that I am now. And I know that I'm where I'm supposed to be, but it wasn't where I thought. I thought my job was going to be something different. Frankly, I thought it was going to be staying at home with my children and doing some work on the side. And now I'm a full-time professional, and I'm still a full-time mom, and I'm doing both of them, and I'm happy to say that I am. And so you can do it all. It's just going to look real messy. I don't know anyone that's like that, and if I do know them, I don't want to know them because they're lying. Their life is not that great. First, you have to graduate, though, right? So focus on that. Focus on that. You are here today because you realize that you have so much opportunity and you want to continue to learn. So stay focused on that because it's right around the corner. All right. Any questions? Yeah. Thank you for that. So at ERC, we try to mix things up and be a little bit fun, and we wanted to be a little bit provocative with the F culture. So we form different committees, and at ERC we have a fun committee. There's some people that get together and they do some fun things throughout the year. So today at lunch we did a pumpkin carving contest, which sounds simple, sounds silly, but you know, you're getting to know other people in the office that you're not used to being with. We have a fitness-minded committee, so we try to do some walks through the park. We do those types of things. Starting a new one called Philanthropic. We're really spelling it wrong, right? Yeah, so it's how are we giving back to the community? So our done-in-a-days, those types of things. Financially minded, we bring in some speakers to talk about 401ks. Take advantage of your 401k if you have an opportunity. So we have those types of things where we're trying to just mix it up a little bit. And I will tell you, I know when people are doing their research before they come in, because not only do we have an F culture and they've read it and people are drawn to that. So when you go to your organization, if you're in HR, I know some of you are in that field, think about how you can mix things up. We also have, if you go to our website, we have chief barking officers. So all of our dogs are on our web pages with little bios on there. So if people don't even mention the chief barking officers, I know that they haven't been to our web page. So that's our F culture. It stands for Employers Resource Council. So going back to it's a resource. No, that's all right. I don't think I actually said it. People mix it up all the time, so we just stick with the ERC. So. I don't know the percentage, but I would say a great deal. I mean, I have resumes across my desk constantly, and I am, even if I don't know people, I'm in a position now because of North Coast 99 where a lot of leaders know me. And if I have a great meeting with that person, I'll shoot their resume along and say, you know, hey, this is somebody that you want to look at. Because as hard as you guys are trying to find a job, it's harder for recruiters right now to find somebody good. And I really mean that. So you present yourself well, you come with a strong background or your dedication to school, that's all people are looking for at this point, you're gonna be able to do that. But I would say networking it's hugely important. You could be one of the lucky ones that just goes on to LinkedIn, finds a job and interviews and that's it. But I would say most of the time, through networking, you'll find a different job. So I would not ask for salary, what the salary range is in the first interview, but it depends, I guess, on, you know, a lot of times it's going to be posted what the salary range is going to be. But if you're advanced in your career and you're like at the manager level, I wouldn't ask that right away. Because what you want to do is make sure it's a fit for you. Now, I say that and I want you to be careful because I know that if you're working and you're going in school, trying to find interview time is very precious time, right? So sometimes it's okay to ask, perhaps maybe in the phone screen, or at the end of the first interview say, hey, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but is there a range that this position works, because I want to make sure that it works for me as well. Or if they invite you back for the second interview, you could maybe ask it over the phone. I wouldn't do it over email, but that's a tricky one. And I don't want to give a straight answer, and I don't mean to be funny, but that's a cultural thing where I think maybe in past years, you don't ever ask that question. But now I feel like that's kind of a question that's a little bit more regular to ask. So watch your social media. Employers, like I said, not everyone's perfect. And they can look at your social media. They can't use it against you if it's about race, religion, those types of things. But if all of your pictures are you boozing every single night of the week or doing other things, that's a reflection on you. So I would watch your social media. I would absolutely use LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn yet, create a LinkedIn profile and just start connecting with people. I have students all the time that are connecting with me. I'd be happy, just send me a note and say, hey, I was at your presentation, I'll connect with you. You're gonna find other people through me, and then also you are going to read some neat articles, and you're going to find out more things about the organization that you're not going to find out on the web pages, because organizations are pushing out content all the time. So before you go to a job interview, not only their website, but check their Twitter feed and check their LinkedIn profile as well. Again, it depends on what position you're applying for. And so that's where I'm saying the interview experience is what you put into it. Because if you see a job description that says must have this many work hours, years, those types of things, then I would say they're probably focused on your past experience. If you're applying for another position, maybe at a nonprofit, and they want to know, that you have relationships and that you're connected, those types of things, then maybe the involvement in at the school is more important. So it depends on, think about this as you as a professional, where you want to go. If I were you, I would try to do a little bit of both. You can't ever take that stuff away from you, right? And so if you don't have a resume yet, I encourage you to do that and give it to someone and say, what do you think? Some positions you don't have to have any experience, and so that's you selling yourself. So yeah, I was involved in this club or that club, or I helped the teacher with this, I did those types of things. When you're in an interview, it's your personal stories they're going to be selling you. So maybe you're not involved in anything because you don't frankly have the time, and that's okay. But what are you doing above and beyond as a student in the class? What are you doing to help? What are you doing for a peer? What are you doing that's keeping you so busy? If it's just on social media sites, that's not a good answer. But what are you doing in your church, in your community, in your neighborhood, those types of things? Because I know you all have passions. So what are you doing there? And talk about those. Mock interviews are really important. I talk to myself in mirrors all the time. I talk to myself about this presentation all the time, and I give presentations all the time. You can always get better. But yeah, ask a friend, ask a coworker, ask a family member. Write down questions. Put yourself in the manager's position. If I was hiring for this job, and I know you don't know the company and you don't know the role, but what are some basic things that I would be asking? How do you like to work? What's your biggest accomplishment? What are you looking for? What do you want to be what are you looking for in 3 to 5 years? That's why I'm saying be prepared before you walk into an interview. Really do some research and some soul searching as to what you're looking for. But that's great advice. I don't know if they offer any mock interviews here through, they do? Yeah, through the career services. Take advantage of it. Just go. Go once. I'm sure you'll benefit from that. Yes?
You can also find examples of mock interviews online.
Oh, yeah. 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 So I wasn't going to tell the story, but I just don't know how to stop talking sometimes. So I had a lady walk in one time chewing a cow tail, like a big piece of candy. Don't do that. I had another lady that walked in that she didn't have any teeth. And she started talking, and she did not get the job because she didn't have any teeth. She wasn't qualified for the job, so I'll say that first. But I couldn't understand a word she said. And then finally she told me, well, I'm getting new teeth next week, but I didn't want to reschedule the interview. Probably should have rescheduled the interview just so that we could have had a better conversation. So emergencies happen. I don't know why she was missing her teeth, but she was, and she was getting them the next week. So we probably should have delayed the interview. But you know, there's crazy stories out there. Don't be a crazy story, especially if you want the job. So that's interesting. That's your choice, right? I have a guy that works for me that doesn't have a cell phone. Does anyone here not have a cell phone? Good for you. So you're the second person now that I know that doesn't have a cell phone. So that's a challenge for us at an organization because we have two-factor authentication. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but that means now when you're logging into servers at your workplace, because of all the scams that are happening, cybersecurity issues, we now have to send a text message to our cell phone. So, so we're bending the rules a little bit about that. But anyways, if you don't have social media, then there's nothing, I guess, to be afraid of, right?
It's not so much afraid. I am aware that companies check them. I wanted to know how it appeared to the company.
I wouldn't, I mean, if I couldn't find you, I mean, if, let's say your name is Jim Smith or so, there's going to be a million Jim Smiths, so there's chances maybe I wouldn't even find them. I wouldn't get alarmed at that. You're probably going to have a background screen. What's that? A background screen done, which means that they're going to, if you say that you graduated from Lakeland, they might verify that you actually graduated or you graduated from, you know, a different school. Drug screening, that's probably going to happen. So if there was anything, you know, there. So you can also ask that right in the beginning too, is that happening? So my predecessor, Pat Perry, he's actually spoken here before, and he was ready to retire. And he came into my office and he said, I'm ready to retire and I would like for somebody to take over the organization. And I was like, okay, gosh, who's that gonna be? And he like walked out of the office. I think he was like, did she really just say that? And so then he persisted and he came back again and he said, I think, you know, I'd like for you to consider this. He asked a little bit more directly that time. And I was kind of in shock. And so I went home and I thought about it. And like I said, I never dreamt, I don't know if there's people in the world that dream to be the president. I don't know. That's not what I had ever dreamt of. But I thought about it and I thought, why would I not do this? Why would I pass up this chance? How could I look my kids in the face and say I had the opportunity to be the first female president in a 97-year-old company, right? How could I pass that up? So I really did some soul searching myself and I realized that my life was going to change and for the better, but a little bit more complicated, a lot more complicated. And I realized, you know, I have this gift that I know about leading people and about seeing the big picture. And I'm so much better at that than the details. And I've got my right-hand person, her name is Carrie. She is the detail person. She is the person that keeps us on track for the most part. So we work really well together. So, but I had to do soul searching just a couple of years ago and figure out if this is what I wanted. Yeah. I didn't. No, I mean, I have great parents. My mom didn't go to college. My dad was successful as a professional. But I just kind of figured it out and I went to a lot of these things. I was always involved. From a young age, I was involved in nonprofits and community service and always raising my hand to do more. And I really believe that that is how I got to be where I am today. Because I think I just always pushed. I always worked 4 jobs. You know, so I know your lives right now. And when people talk about it, I'm jokingly talking about shows, like I'm now just starting to watch TV. Like I don't really watch TV. I don't really have a lot of social media because my time is spent with people or reflecting, you know, on work, those types of things. So again, it's what you put into it that you get out of it. And we need those moments where we have just silence and we're able to regroup. But where you are in your phases of your professional world and trying to get into the work world right now, I would say do as much as you can. Thank you. You're welcome. I don't know that answer. And we don't check credit scores. The only time you're going to have a credit score, I don't know. But if you're going to, I don't think anyone should be asking your credit score. If they are, maybe I'm missing that. Yeah.
I know banks, I worked.
Oh, banks do? Okay.
Yeah, banks do ask for your credit score just because you're gonna be around money.
Yeah.
But they look more at how much debt you're in rather than your credit
Okay.
score, because if you're in a lot of debt, I've only seen one person not get a job because of how much debt they were in, just
Yeah.
because you're around hundreds of thousands
Yeah.
of dollars a day, so.
Yeah, my national city days were very short. Congratulations to all of you for being here. Thank you. And good luck to you all. Thank you.